Today we are going to learn about music, and music specifically we will be looking at music notation. That is what we are going to rely on today. We are going to look at music notation. What is music? Most of us, we know music and we listen to music and different artists. We like all those people and we love them. But what is music? I won't spend much of your time because I know some of you have got good gadgets that can give you best or better understanding in terms of music. Some of you have got dictionaries and you can search from the dictionary and they can give you brilliant definitions of music. But in my simple way, I say music is actually organized sound and silences. And silence. Now, when you look at organizing sound and silence, it may be in form of art. In fact, music is art, and it can be in symbols, it can be in vocal, it can be in instruments. That is all the circles of music. And we all understand to say music is something that is for recreation, for entertainment, and for appraising our souls, and it is played in so many different scenarios and also so many different situations. Like when you're having gatherings, you would like to play music. When you're at school, dancing, you want to accompany music. And also when you have certain moments that are requiring music, you still want to play music. So music is quite wide. Music is quite wide, and most of us, we are compelled to singing, or we are compelled to listening to that good music. Now, you need also to understand that according to the sound and also the silence, like I said, you organize these two things. Only when you organize, only, please understand me, only when you organize music with sounds and silences, that is when it's going to be music. There's also noise. I want to go in further to give you the definitions of sound, definition of silence, definition of noise. These things, you look for them on your own. Silence, sound, noise. Some other people, they say this music is noise. So anyway, we'll understand that. But today, we are specifically looking at the notation of music. Notation and the use of symbols. Certain symbols, if I write a certain symbol or if I draw a certain symbol, is the person on my absentia going to interpret that music? That is what we want to look at. And basically, or on a basic point of view, I want us to look at these symbols and how they are called in American, in British, as well as in French. How do they perceive this? When they see this symbol, what is their interpretation? And this is where we are now. We have what we call note, or the notes. And this part is for symbols, and we have different types of symbols here. Now, when you look at the second part here, we have what we call American names. This is how they call them when you are in the US, in the United States of America. This is how they call them. When you look at this one, they call them a whole note. This one, half note. This one, this symbol here is called a quarter note. This symbol is called the 80th note. This symbol, or this symbol, they call them as a 16th note. Please, this is how they call them. So when you go to America and you know these symbols differently, and them they are calling this, try to cope up and see what you can do. Actually, with them, it's their culture, it's their situation, it's how they speak and how they enjoy music. But you shouldn't say, no, but me, I know in a different way, just try to do what you can. And come up with this. Also in British or Britain, in Britain, these are the names. When you look at this symbol, where they called whole note here, them they call semi-breve. They call them semi-breve. Here where they say half note, them they call minim. This is a minim. Here where they call a quarter note, they call it crotchet. In Britain, they call it a crotchet. Here where they call 80th note, there is quiver. Here where they call 16th note, there they call semi-quiver. So these are the names in British language, which means the same as what is here. Now, these they've got the beats, meaning you need to interpret them in a certain way. Now, if they say, can you give me the beat or the beats of a whole note or a semi-breve, then it has to have 4 beats. It has to have 4 beats. I'm coming to French, but meantime, these are the beats. You give them 4 beats, you understand much how they appear in this row. Now, when you look at this other part here, number 2, obvious number 2, you have half note, minimal or minim, which is 2 beats, only 2 beats. When you have 2 beats, then you are offering or you are giving them a minim in British, half note in American name. Now, when we come to the other part, which is crotchet, we come to the other part, which is crotchet, which is also quarter note, you only have to bounce once, which means you have to give them 1 beat, just 1 beat, bang, just that. Then it's crotchet. Now, here, on the 4th part, you have what we call 80th note. 80th note, you have what is known as, in British name, what is known as quiver, which is a half note. This is half. This is half. In mathematics, this is called half, and this applies also here. Now, the last part is this symbol where you see the tail. In fact, it has to have 2 here. Yes. Where you see this symbol is called a 16th note, which is semi-breve, half of quiver. Half of this is called half of this is called a 16th note. 16th note, which is a semi-quiver, half of half. Yes. Now, for you to understand all these things, because this must be appealing in your music as you make that stuff or that step, it has to be appealing here. And also, if you line them up in that alphabet, which we call music alphabet, you need to understand how these are counted as you are singing. Now, we'll go into details, and we'll at least by the end of this session, the whole lot of it, we must be able to understand and also put or list them in those lines as we use the alphabet of music. Now, on the French part, obviously this part, the last part, let me just say the last part so that we do the counting of this, and then we wind up or we end the program. Now, when you look at this part, here they are saying these are all sounds. These are sounds. There is nothing like rest here. These are sounds. The sounds that you produce when you are singing are this. But where you have rest or silence, you need obviously to count as well. But these are the symbols that are used when you are resting. Like, I love Jesus. On where you have rested there must be other symbols. So you can rest on a whole note, and this is the whole note. For resting, for sound, you put this produced. This one will indicate that someone produced sound. Someone produced sound, and sound was in a whole note or was in a semibreve. But here, he did not produce, or she did not produce the sound. That's the reason why that is resting at that particular point, at that particular period. All these that are at the far end. That's why we've said resting, meaning the sound was not produced there, but it was just resting. Now, here, the last part which is called French. French, because most of these things, due to the language, sometimes very difficult to identify which sound was there. But in French, this is how they consider. They will consider by clapping or by singing, just like that. Like when you say, can you give me the semibreve in French? Semibreve in French. This is how they count. So you should produce this sound. Semibreve in French, you are going to say ta ha ha ha. Ta ha ha ha. So this is ta ha ha ha. So if they say, can you give me two semibreve? You say ta ha ha ha, ta ha ha ha. I hope this is not confusing. If they say, can you give me three semibreve, three whole note, or three semibreve, you say ta ha ha ha, ta ha ha ha, ta ha ha ha. That is three. That is three times. If they say, can you give me semibreve in resting or silence, I was saying sa ha ta ha ha, something like that. But here you are just going to do like. That is three times. So those are silences as well as rest, as well as in here. So you count in French. In French you count. Now, when you look at the value of minim in French, it's only twice. Ta ha. That's all. Ta ha. Ta ha. Ta ha. So ta ha. So if they say, can you give me the value of two minim? Value of two minim. What you do is ta ha, ta ha. There are two. Can you combine two values of minim and two values of semibreve? What you do is ta ha, ta ha, ta ha ha ha, ta ha ha ha. Just that pattern is what they are asking for you in there. When you look at crochet, which is just one, or which has only one value, is ta 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 ta. Just one. Bam bam bam. This crochet sometimes is called a walking note. Because even when we are walking, we just do like this. Walking note. Ka, 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 ka. Walking note. Crochet can also be a walking note. The same way we walk. When you are walking, it's producing the crochet. I've seen this question somewhere, so that's why I've even emphasized on the walking note. This is walking. Ta, 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 ta. Ta, 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 walking note. You are walking. You are walking. This is the walking note. Now, these here, which are on top, you find that it's ta, ha, 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 ta, ha, 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 ta, ha, ta, ha. Those are called matching notes. Matching, which is slow match. Soldiers, they use this. Ta, ha, ta, ha, ta, ha, ta. When they are matching, slow match, they ta, ha, ta, ha, ta, ha, ta, ha. So this is marching. Minim is marching. Slow march. Slow march. Slow march. Walking when we are on crochet. Now running is where we are here on the quiver. Quiver is running. Is a running note. Why is it called a running note? This is where. When you go to French, it's called tate. Tate. We are the same on minimal is ta 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 ta. You are walking. Now when we come to quiver, when we come to quiver, it's all about running. Ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ta ti ta. So it's tate, 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 tate. That is a quiver. Quiver is tate. It's running note. That is what it is actually in French now. That's how it's considered in French. Now, when you look at the last one, which is semiquaver. When we come to semiquaver, which is 16th note, 16th note is here. In French, we use symbols or we produce sound like so tafa tafe. You must produce a certain sound in your mind that produces the tafa tafe. So tafa tafe, tafa tafe, tafa tafe, tafa tafe, tafa tafe, tafa tafe. So tafa tafe, that is one. Tafa tafe, one. Tafa tafe. That is what we call the 16th note, which is the semiquaver. 16th note. Tafa tafe. So if they say, can you give me 3 of these? You say 3. Tafa tafe, tafa tafe, tafa tafe. Try at home this. They are very much important for you. So if they say, can you give me 3 of this and 2 of this? What you do is we'll come to that. I'll give you an exercise where you'll be making the sound of different this, and you see how the clapping is going to be. And actually you have to try this at home, because music and also the singing sometimes go fast, sometimes we relax a bit, sometimes we move slowly but sure. Some of the music, they are too fast, like I don't know. So they even go to tafa tafa. So the beat will compel you to go into that kind of a situation. So just mark this, and we will learn this.